Hello and welcome to the Punished for Protecting Live broadcast with your host, Francesca Amato, national expert in the Americans with Disabilities Act, domestic violence and child abuse advocate, best-selling author, and founder of Punished for Protecting Incorporated. We welcome all of our viewers watching on Facebook via Punished for Protecting News and the CPS News Network. If you're watching on YouTube at Punish No More and Free to Protect, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. You can also find Punish for Protecting News on Rumble. Now, without further ado, here is your host, Francesca Amato.
Welcome, everyone, to this afternoon edition and a very sombering story today that I'm here to give, a story that I don't like to have to give, but we do have to continue to raise awareness. We do need the people watching, and we do need the people applying whatever we can so that things like this don't continue to happen in our country. Welcome to Punish for Protecting News. No matter where you're following from, thank you for sharing this message with everyone you know. It's greatly appreciated and hopefully can save a life. Today, our story is about attorney and former special counsel to the governor of New York and assistant U.S. attorney, and above all, mother. Today, we have a story about a mother, a professional, articulate, kind warrior and mother. And if this doesn't prove to people today that it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter your social or economic background, it doesn't matter your intelligence, it doesn't matter that you're a good mother, it doesn't matter that you care about and love your children, it doesn't matter that you fight for others, that you protect your children, that you love your children, that you support your children. When it comes to family court, it's killing lives. Family court is killing lives. Family court, I've labeled it the child trafficking industry, the gateway door to the child trafficking industry. Child Predator Services, they call it CPS, Child Protective Services. The gateway door, the connection, they work together hand in hand to traffic children and destroy lives. And today, we're going to be talking about Youssef Kassenoff and the tragedy that has just occurred. And I have a special guest with me today, Rhonda Victor. She's going to be coming out and talking too. And so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring her out. But I also want to remind everyone that throughout this broadcast today, there are trigger warnings. If you suffer from PTSD or anxiety, or you're a domestic violence survivor yourself, please proceed with caution today. It's a very hard story to have to tell today. I'm going to go ahead and bring out Rhonda. Okay.
Hi,
Thank
everyone.
you. Hey, Rhonda. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So I think what I want to first do, Rhonda, is I'm going to go ahead and read the statement that Catherine had put on Facebook for all. And for those that may not have seen this on Facebook, there is a Dropbox. I'm not going to read that off on here, but there is a Dropbox. So I'm also going to, you can actually go to Facebook to her page, pardon me, and you can go through the Dropbox, but we're going to be showing videos today. So again, please, trigger warning is very important today, okay? This is from Catherine. Dear friends, family, and supporters, it is with a profound heartbreak that I hope none of you ever experience, that I am writing my last post ever. Today, I will be ending my own life. I will be doing so in a dignified and idyllic setting in Europe. There are simply no other options left. In the last 4 years of my life, I have woken up every day to a nightmare like no other. I can no longer endure the abuse and terror of Alan Kassenoff, who has spent the last 4 years mercilessly trying to incarcerate me on false charges as recently as March 2023. I have also endured the emotional devastation of being without my children for so long, homeless from Alan's repeated ex parte evictions of me from the homes I own and rented, deprivation of my property and obliteration of my life savings, the loss of my 2 dogs, the loss of my career and reputation, and the concomitant humiliation and ostracism from all of this. Perhaps if I had the physical endurance to keep going, I would. But with a new terminal health issue that will soon be severely limiting my physical strength as well, and with no protection from our courts, I cannot keep running from Alan. I was recently diagnosed with a virulent and life-ending cancer after having had breast cancer twice in my life already. I cannot go through debilitating chemo, surgeries, and radiation again, this time with a dire prognosis and with Alan fighting me until he dies, and no court intervention whatsoever. And I want to emphasize the no court intervention part whatsoever. Pardon me. I just need to. Those were his exact words to me in an email he sent on March 19th, 2023, which you can see in Dropbox. So please understand why I did not share this news widely. If Alan had known about my health issues, he surely would have tried that much harder to end my existence. As many of you know, on January 26, 2022, I was falsely arrested on serial reports made by Alan Kassenoff in October 2021, December 2021, and then on January 25th, 2022. After I proclaimed my innocence and fought these allegations, I won. On March 16th, 2022, all his bogus charges were dropped and his bogus ex parte orders of protection were vacated. His claims for contempt, seeking my incarceration, were also dismissed with prejudice. But history has shown that Alan will never stop until I am gone. As recently as March 18th, 2023, Alan again tried to have me arrested. On that day, while I was watching our 9-year-old daughter skate, he got off the ice and came at me. I told him to get away from me 4 times. He wouldn't. He taunted me instead. He then reported me to police, claiming falsely that he had a restraining order when he didn't, and when I had every right to see my daughter skate. I captured his confrontation of me on video, which I am posting in Dropbox, along with the 911 call and the police report in which he falsely told police I was capable of killing him or my own children. Based on the false 911 call he initiated, police officers came to the rink. Alan stood in the background with our daughter, laughing and pointing at me while I was being questioned, waiting with her to see if I would be taken away with cuffs. See photo. Fortunately, I wasn't arrested. The police realized he was lying. But this is how I have been living for years, like a hunted animal, worried about when Alan will make the next false report. He sees all this as a game, and the courts have not stopped him. They too are even scared of him, or maybe they just don't care. While they handed out ex parte tops against me like candy, on his say-so, they would never even enter a top against him, after 2 days of testimony from police and the rink manager that he lied in order to try to procure my false arrest again. For a long time, I believed I can make my children's lives better by fighting to stay in them, even if it was just moments at a time. As time went on, the in-between of those moments became interminable and unbearable. I would long for the girls and try to think of all the things they might need. Even though I was held at such a distance that I did not even know what those things might be, I imagined who their friends were, where they went, who they spent time with, what their dreams were. I had nothing more than my own imagination to work with, because for the last 3 years, I was excised from being their mother. I could not tuck them into bed at night, take them to school, host their sleepovers, make their breakfasts, or take them on vacations. Alan wouldn't allow any of it. The court gave him everything he wanted. I often shook from the pain of it. In recent weeks, I came to realize that my presence in their lives only brings them pain and suffering. That is because they must answer to a father who does not view me as human. He erased every element of their being that had anything to do with me. French, Christianity, tennis. They have learned to identify with him in order to survive. So they now declare how they hate Christmas. They call me Catherine instead of Mom. For him, in the end, they must reject me for him. I can see the pain on their little faces when they have to manage the unspeakable conflict that only my oldest seems strong enough to manage and fight through to see me. It is a look that has haunted me for a long time. I don't want to see it anymore. I just want their and my pain to end. Their father has spent years and millions of dollars, over $3 million, to eliminate me from our girls' lives. He has liquidated savings to do so. He will never relent. He will spend their life savings. He will demonize me to them mercilessly, and he has made them suffer if they even just want to see me. They have been diagnosed with depression and worse. As long as I'm alive and want to see them, they will be damaged over and over again with every attempt I make. What is the point of that? The last thing I want to do is make my own children suffer. Even in death, Alan Kassenoff will never stop. After I am gone, he will falsely tell everyone that I am mentally ill, that I am a criminal and a liar. But I am none of these things and have proven it. I don't have a criminal past. I am a former federal prosecutor and special counsel to the governor of New York. I showed the undeniable abuse he perpetrated on numerous videos, showing I did not lie about that. And I have the testimony and reports of various doctors to prove my mental health. Again, you can see link in Dropbox. Indeed, under Swiss law, a person wishing to end their life can only do so after meeting a very high bar and being found competent, not suffering from mental impairments. The Swiss doctor and my therapist, Dr. Anna Filova, MD, and Dr. Stephanie Brandt, MD, confirmed this. See again the Dropbox links. Alan's need to convince others otherwise comes from his shame about the truth, that he was a domestic abuser. By trying to cast me in these negative ways, he thinks he can clear his name. He cannot. The videos, audios, and other materials will follow him forever. You will find police testimony about his abuse, medical records of his abuse, affidavits about his abuse, and more in the link. Shame on Greenberg Traurig, who knew all of this and did nothing to stand up for the rights of domestic abuse survivors like me and my daughters. My girls deserve so much better than the life they were given by their father and the court system that was supposed to and miserably failed to protect them and me. The court system favors moneyed parties, and if that party happens to be an angry litigator, God help the other parent. I was a good and loving mom who sacrificed my own career trajectory to have children, whom I finally conceived after years of fertility treatments. I did not abuse alcohol, children, or drugs. I never had so much as a brush with the law until Alan tried to have me arrested. I put my kids before everything in this life. I did not lose my entire life to a fair and just process. I exposed both a corrupt forensic evaluator named Mark Abrams and a corrupt attorney for the children, Carol Most, both of whom were removed in disgrace from my case. But the system did not fix what it broke. After it came to light, it turned my custody battle into a money-making churn. Alan filed this divorce action in May of 2019. Until just recently, there still was no final trial scheduled in this case. What a complete disgrace. To use the misery of a family so that the various court personnel involved can get rich. Dr. Adler, whose PSYD somehow qualified her to charge $600 an hour to reprogram the girls. Dr. McGuffug, who charged $450 an hour so that the father could sit on my daughter's sessions, and who told my daughter she had to pick between me or your mom. Dr. Abrams, who made over $40,000 to testify for the father and was removed from the panel of forensic custody evaluators in disgrace, and Carol Most, who just billed a staggering $270,000 after being removed from the case for gross ethical misconduct. I hope in death, this is the part that really got me, I hope in death I will accomplish what I could not in life. I hope our legislators, judges, media, and others will take notice of the price I am paying today. Sorry. The horrors of family court and how the court destroys families in order to profit. I hope the public will stand up and say no more. Your children deserve better, and so did mine. My primary contact is Wayne Baker, and it's federallitigator@gmail.com. Federallitigator@gmail.com. His name is Wayne Baker. Should you have anything to share with him, and who has all my documents from the divorce case, etc., please don't let my demise be in vain. Reach out to him to organize yourselves. Use the facts of my case, which Wayne also has access to, and make change. Don't let our children grow up to re-experience these do not let our children grow up to re-experience this trauma as adults. All my materials in support of what I write above are available at this link, which I urge you to share everywhere before Alan finds a way to shut down this Facebook page. Please don't let the world or my children forget the real Alan, who is on the dozens of videos I have posted here on Facebook. Please preserve them for my children when they are ready to remember and learn the truth about him. Please stand up against abusers like this who enjoy tormenting others. This includes the judges, by the way. This is the number one person, is the judges in the family court nationwide. That's who I always point to. For the sake of my children and other mothers who live through this terror of domestic abuse, I ask that you please keep telling my story so that the truth is known far and wide. And finally, a special thank you to those in my life who always put my children first and who supported me unfailingly. My mother, Jennifer Cully, and we offer our deepest support and condolences to you. Carrie Christ, Stephanie Brandt, Jonathan Davidoff, Wayne Baker, Catherine Klein, Catherine Sinzabog, Liz Curtin, Lizzie Harden, Brian McQuillan, Rory Doyle, and my wonderful lawyers, Andy Freisch and Evan Weiderker. And she puts, oh, that was it. That was the end of that. Rhonda, I don't know if you'd like to go ahead and touch on this while I go through comments, and also when I show videos, I'm going to keep this up for those of you that there is trigger warnings coming. Okay, go ahead, Rhonda.
Catherine, I promise you, we are not going to let your story fall by the wayside. Your story is going to get told. We are all Catherine. The mothers who enter the family court system often are in the same position you were. One of the other advocates started the hashtag, I am this woman. I am Catherine. Somebody could have never met you at all and still know you. It is a pain like no other. And you are absolutely right. It all falls ultimately to the judges and the corrupt family court system for letting this happen, especially to the children, but also to the mothers as well. It overwhelmingly, it has been proven that there is a bias in the family court system against protective mothers. When you wrote about the trauma you endured by being falsely accused, arrested, if a mother did that to a father, she would never see her kids again. Why is this monster allowed to get away with it? Why?
Yeah. And I just had another client literally as I was getting on here. So all of the domestic violence on 4 children, 2 separate mothers and 4 separate children, was all dropped in court, and the mothers were yelled at for filing the reports, using it. So when it's the other way around, it's completely ignored. But when it's happening to the person, it's ignored the other way. So it's always against mothers. I don't care what anybody says. It's always against mothers. 15 and a half years experience, taking equal amounts of mothers and fathers. And then those fathers showing their ugly faces of who they really were. I have a percentage of fathers. It's very, very low that I take and that I have that are genuinely good dads, protective and loving and caring men. But the majority that went through family court, very, very high, pushing up to the 90% percentile, were clearly abusers. No questions asked, clearly abusers. And we do a strategic and stringent evaluation of people. And the mothers are going through this horrific pattern. It's just absolutely sickening.
It's bad enough when the abuser abuses you. That I've said it a million times. Okay, so you get out, you get away from the abuser, you do the right thing, right? Yeah. And then you enter this hell called family court, not expecting what you get. Yeah. That's what I just keep thinking. I am Catherine. Mm-hmm. All of the other mothers that I've met, same thing. I can't get that out of my head. For this to happen to a federal prosecutor,
there you go.
It can happen to anyone.
If this doesn't prove the point that I've been saying, it happened to her. They don't care about their own people. Mm-mm. When push comes to shove. And she was saying he has a lot of money. That is true, but I've seen dirt poor fathers get handed attorneys, free attorneys who fight for them like you think they were their own kids, and will do whatever. And the child attorneys too, even if they're free. So it's money, because it's money for trillions of dollars to traffic children like this and abuse families like this, because they're making money on every level. That's just the point. They're still making money.
Well, we've all seen the videos. The videos have been spread around Facebook like wildfire, and we've seen him clearly. He called her a thing in front of her children. He was screaming at the girls in the one video. The oldest daughter was trying to protect her sisters. So, okay, with the Carol Most and what was that, Mark Abrams?
Yeah.
They didn't do their job.
That's right.
We saw it on these videos. Clearly, they did not do their job. Now, I get it. They were removed from the case. But, you know, honestly, they need to be paying back some money to her estate. They really do.
Oh, 100%.
They did not do their job at all.
We're going to see what New York State does now. I doubt anything, but the thing is, we're going to see. Hopefully, this will take on a life of its own and is worth it. And I also want to tell everyone too, mothers that are out there, please do not do this. Please do not do this. Okay, you have lots and lots of support. We are here to support you. There's lots and lots of support. We've seen multiple cases, horrible cases, completely turn around for the better with their children coming back home. I experience it constantly. I've experienced it personally, and for my clients. So please do not do what she did. Do not do what she did. Okay, we are here for you, and do not do what she did. That is not the answer. Okay, that is not the answer. So I need to emphasize that. I'm going to go ahead and show. I'm going to show some videos. Okay, and you can touch on them too, Rhonda. Let's show this one. This is from TikTok. This is from TikTok. It's going to be really, really quick, and this is the daughter, Allie. Maybe you want to explain it as soon as we play it. Hold on, I'm going to put it. It's very quick, guys. Play it twice. I'm going to play it twice so you can see this. But if you look on the lower right-hand corner, I don't know if you could see it. It says help. Did you want to touch on that, Rhonda?
I looked at her account and I found Dad. Dad is one of her followers, and he has like 2 people that he's watching. So he's watching her account, and I believe she knows this. And there's an arrow on that video that clearly points down to the help. And then if you pull up the comments, she's also reiterating help again. The oldest daughter, and I did download the Dropbox. Now there's over 200 files in here, and I've just begun to scratch the surface. So there's a lot. So much. But from the couple documents that I did start to read, I do believe that the oldest daughter did still maintain a good relationship with Mom, and in the one video, she was actually protecting her sisters from Dad's tirade when he was going off. So I do believe that Allie in particular is a bit different than the other 2. She's at a different place. And if you need help, please never, ever hesitate to ask for help.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm going to go ahead and play one of the videos, guys.
Where is that spoiled kid?
She's not going with you.
Open the gun. Shut up, Allie! Get over there, Allie!
No!
It's not any of your business! Get over there!
Allie, let me in! Get out, Charlie. Go, Charlie and JoJo.
What is wrong with you? You're not involved in this!
I don't care! She's my sister!
Oh my God, you have something mentally deranged with people.
Allie, can we jump on your bed? That's my shirt.
Yeah, I know.
Allie, can we jump on your bed? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Wanna play violin? No, don't.
You know what? I'm gonna play this game. I'm calling Alliance Francaise and saying you're not listening, and that's why you're not going.
Really? I will call and I will make sure they know the truth. Now, I have
I'm
videos,
gonna annoy him.
and I'll send it to them.
Shirley, I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry I yelled at you.
Stay!
I'm sorry.
Charlie, listen. Charlie, he's offering you an apology. Charlie.
You guys mind your own business?
She's our sister!
Stop it!
She's our sister! Allie, can I keep this?
So sick. Next time you have a problem with your cabinet, your bookcase, speak to someone else.
It's not about loyalty. It's
Next time you
about
want to move your bed, speak to
Oh.
someone else.
you threatening her for standing up for her sister.
Sister?
You're threatening her. Why don't you call her in here?
Get out of the room.
Give me my phone!
Enough with your goddamn.
It's unbelievable.
Who needed supervised visitation?
Right.
Not her, not Catherine.
No. But see, these courts are not acknowledging, they think if there's not bruises all over your body, I've even seen bruises all over and horrible stuff, that they still ignore it anyway. But I've heard them say that if they don't see it, it doesn't exist. So really, like, psychological abuse has been proven through social science research to cause lifetime damages. Okay. Proven over and over again. It's well-known fact. Yet they still are in this archaic thought process, which we know it doesn't really matter what is said or done or presented to these courts. This is intentional. It's intentional. I have another video.
That was.
I'm gonna leave in about 1 minute because she's.
You need to take your daughter to school.
I'm not taking her.
She needs to get to school, and if you don't go to
Not by
school, I'm
me.
going to write a
Get
letter.
her
I
to-
cannot get her to school. I'm lying in bed.
There's
I'm
something wrong with her.
post-surgery.
There's something wrong with her where she won't get up. There's something wrong with her. Charlie, if I have to keep.
She's in the
I'll take
room.
away.
My
Charlie,
children
I'm gonna
are in
take
the
away-
room
I'm
as
gonna
you
take
say
aw-
these
I'm gonna
things.
take away the next thing from you. Let me go figure out what it is.
Oh.
And I'm hiding them, so no one's taking them to give them back to you.
Scaring her.
I already know where they are, Charlie. Are they all in the same place? Yes. Good. Mommy. In one of Daddy's closets. High up? I can get it from that high.
Charlie, can you please try to get out of bed?
I don't want to go with
I
that
understand.
crazy guy! I am not ever going with him.
I can't take you to school, Charlotte.
I know, can I really just give him? I'm never going with him. I don't want to.
I can't take you, honey.
I don't want to go with him.
Anna, that's my legs.
Sorry.
I took away your piggy bank. Next thing I'm gonna do is call Grandma and Grandpa and tell them not to give you birthday presents for the next year. It's too late for this year because I
Oh,
gave
those
you
are my
something.
legs. Can
Next
you
year
find
you will
another
not get a
place,
birthday
please?
present from Grandma and Grandpa. I'm going to wait in my room, and if anyone wants to get you ready for
You
work,
need
school,
to be nice and take her to school.
I'm not taking her. I told you that.
He's mean. Why does he need to take them?
So in that one, she's pre-surgery, but the child is clearly saying, I don't want to go with that guy. I'm going to go ahead and we have to go to a quick infomercial, guys, and we will be back. We have more videos to show you of the alleged abuse of Alan and Kassenoff, and you guys can decide.
We'll be right back after a message from Punished for Protecting Incorporated. Each new generation of protective mothers is shocked when they first go to family court and find it doesn't favor single mothers and is willing to jeopardize children. Francesca's harrowing experience with the broken family court system, from which she finally received justice after 8 months of struggle, is proof that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Francesca has one of these unspeakably cruel cases and has responded by shining a large spotlight on widespread failures so other mothers won't be shocked. Punished for Protecting the Injustice System of Family Court by Francesca Amato Banfield, advocate, mother, whistleblower, founder, and TV talk show host of Punished for Protecting. If you are struggling with injustices wrought by our courts, this book will help guide you through the process. Available on Amazon.com. Search Punished for Protecting and get your copy today. Help abolish family court by purchasing Punished for Protecting merchandise. Here are our top sellers. See the link in the YouTube video description to find out how to get your Punished for Protecting t-shirt. Get your high-quality Punished for Protecting t-shirt while supplies last and let everyone know that you stand for justice. Are you being re-victimized by the family court system? Do you need help with your case? Go online and book a talk with Francesca. Go to punished4beingAparent.com/book-a-talk. Fill in your name, email address, and message to Francesca. Someone will get back to you within 24 hours. Francesca and her staff of volunteers continue to work tirelessly every single day for parents and children who are in need of their help. There have been multiple success stories, including Francesca's, which gives hope to others in similar situations. Punished for Protecting Incorporated has incurred out-of-pocket expenses with zero funding to help families get their children back or to save their children from being taken. We also have provided funds to help with retainers, food, lodging, and travel. We really need your help so we can continue to provide our many services. Any amount is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to donate or sponsor a family in need of help, go to Cash App, Free the Children. And now back to our broadcast.
Okay, so Rhonda, if you wanted to go ahead and talk about, I know that you had this comment had come through that you saw. If you want to just kind of talk about that, because some people were not sure if she actually.
A lot of people have questioned, if she had gone through with it or not. It has been confirmed that she did pass away. I do believe that what the discussion was about this was, how when you're on Facebook, you see the green dot. I just simply think that somebody is, has access to her account for whatever reason, but the attorneys have confirmed that she has passed away. Can you hear me, Francesca?
Okay, sorry. I was just trying to show a couple of pictures from the Dropbox. That one particular picture right here, someone here is saying, basically what they're saying is that it's a sure sign that that fathers that take full custody from good mothers is a sign of abuse, which I undoubtedly agree with, 100% agree with. But let's go ahead and show. We have more videos here, and these are also, you can also find these on Dropbox.
I hate you, Catherine. I hate you. I regret every minute of my life the fact that I met you.
Your children are here.
Okay.
Your children.
They know how I feel.
Here.
Oh, so someone just asked if it's suicide or suicided. No, I just read a whole letter from her. This is intentional.
thing that I read this morning, somebody shared a letter from the executor of her estate. And these videos, I also think, play into this. There's a thing in family court that it's a tactic they like to use, where if you are unable to co-parent with the abuser, that's one of their rationalizations for giving them sole custody. Now, these videos, because I'm Catherine, I get it. You know, these are the things that family court's not going to talk about. But it's the reality of it in the day-to-day life. What these abusers do is fail to purposely be willing to co-parent because they don't want the mother in the child's life. Mm-hmm. So they will purposely sabotage it by taunting mothers, by creating scenarios where, you know, whatever. They come up with these ridiculous, they'll sit there and say, no, when mothers are fighting for things that clearly benefit the kids, that are clearly in the children's best interest, and the fathers actually use that to tick the mothers off. And then the mother is accused of not being willing to co-parent with the abuser, which is what they do to rationalize taking custody from mom. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Kassenoff is a clear example of this. He's a perfect illustration.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I see it every day for like all these years. I see it over and over again. You know, I used to believe, oh, the father is home. I believe that too, because, you know, obviously we're normal people. We believe in husbands and fathers and all that until you enter the family court and you realize that the highest percentage is male abusers. That's why the divorces or the separations are happening. It's not just because you just want to leave a relationship with children. It's not, oh, I have a great relationship, I'm just going to leave. It's not like that. Women are not really built that way. Okay. I'm not saying that there's not women cheats and women abusers. I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm not saying that. But the courts are no doubt the whole father's rights, fatherhood.gov. You don't see a motherhood.gov. The whole father's rights, the whole parental alienation lie. It is a complete legal strategy. Okay. It's coercive control. When it's done by an abuser. And when a mother protects her children, which comes naturally to you from abuse, takes a lot to get out of abuse to begin with. And when she does that, she is completely destroyed for it. She's called a liar and abusive. Catherine's letter couldn't spell it out any better. And that's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens 100%. And instead of calling it what it is, they have no proper training in coercive control and what happens in gaslighting, in narcissism, in Stockholm syndrome of children. You know, I mean, I can literally look at a child and see what's happening with them. I don't have to be a licensed medical clinician to know, because I've been doing this for so long. Okay. Then I see exactly what's happening, or just how the children verbalize. I've seen children shut off as soon as they go to the dad. I see them shut down. I see it. I see the look on their faces. Okay. I see what happens. And when a child discloses and then they're completely rejected for disclosing what's happening to them, okay, they're completely ignored and placed right back with the abuser, they're done. They've shut down. They're done. They're not going to keep disclosing abuse. They have to be extremely strong kids. And usually it's a graduation, like it's a gradual process of abuse that gets them to the point where they're not going to protect themselves anymore. They're not going to speak up because the teachers aren't doing the right thing. The police aren't doing the right thing. The judges are sure as hell not doing the right thing. Okay. The CPS workers are just flakes, period. Okay. So they're not doing the right thing, but everyone has to answer to the judge. That's why the judge is the person to blame. Everybody wants to keep focusing on CPS. CPS is trash. There's no question about it. No question about it. They're violating all kinds of rights. Okay. The police are enforcing the violation of rights, and the judges are enforcing the violation of rights, and everyone's answering to the judges. So at the end of the day, it's the judges. It's always the judges that we have to go after. It's a judicial system that is phony that we have to go after.
The judges also protect CYS. that if CYS acts in a negligent manner, the judges will cover up their shortfalls, their mistakes, their lies, their abuses. I've seen that in many cases. But something is very clear from these videos. And in response to that comment, this father doesn't want those children. Are you kidding?
No, he has no interest in them. He hates them
No.
as much as he hates the mother.
So what did he do? He ran out and got himself a little girlfriend. And then the little girlfriend starts attacking Catherine along with her sister. That's what I was doing yesterday, was, coming at them. And I found the court case where it's posted on my page. Read it for yourself and interpret it how you will. But I wouldn't say that this is a very above board family. But hey, it is what it is.
I see, I work obviously for women and children to protect them of their rights and protect them to keep the sanctity of motherhood and children together. But I do see these, I call them, the Bible calls them weak-willed women who allow creepy men to creep into homes, so to speak. And I see this dime a dozen weak-willed women. There are a lot of them out there, and a dime a dozen isn't even the value of a penny a piece, that will defend that guy. They're going to defend him and they're going to believe the narrative. And then all of a sudden they're the next victim. And then they're like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. Now you're doing it to me too. Oh, did you think that wasn't going to happen? I've seen it. I've seen it over and over again. Okay. And they'll literally put these men before their own children. It sickens me. While you've got all these great mothers out there fighting to save and protect their children.
I know.
So and I tell women this all the time. If a man tells you, my crazy ex and my liar ex, if those red flags don't literally flag you like I've never seen a flagging before, okay, there's something wrong with you. Always believe the ex. Trust me. Always believe the ex. So
run.
Yes, this is true about the law. I want to show you this since we're on the subject of judges.
What about us? What about all the times you said you had the answer? What about us? What about all the broken happy ever after? What about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster? What about love? What about trust? What about us?
And let's not forget Anthony McGinty, who I don't have his face up on the screen, but he's been shown in the infomercial, the other wackadoodle that's out there, and he's still doing the sickest things you can imagine. There's him too. Let's not forget. So I do have one more video for what Catherine was put through and her children.
Yes.
Hey, Allie, what was that song Daddy just sang about mommy? Sing it. Sing the song he just sang.
You was singing, we wish mommy was a dead duck.
Yeah, sing it.
We wish mommy was a dead duck.
Hey, Charlotte.
We
going.
wish I never saw her.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. Really. So these kids are mentally being completely abused. Completely abused. It's absolutely sick.
And you would think that all the professionals because a lot of these cases boil down to what the professionals recommend. Judges can say all they want that they make the final decision, but really, it's based on the recommendation of the gangsters ad litem and the evaluators. I mean, yeah, the judge has to sign it, but more often than not, they just rubber stamp whatever they recommend because they put the onus on them. If they go and make a decision that's contrary to what the evaluator or the guardian ad litem recommends, then they're putting themselves out there. And a lot of them are gutless to do the right thing when they have the opportunity to do so.
They're trained there. If you look at any guardian ad litem or attorney for child handbook in any state, it's 7.2 section in New York State, but it's in various sections in their handbooks. You will see that if a child is in abuse, that's when the only time that they're supposed to go against the child's so-called wishes, because you should know the difference between their genuine wishes, or if the children are sitting with the father that's abusing them, and they're scared. That's the only time they're supposed to go, and they're supposed to fight for the protection of the children, which they never do. And the reason for this is because in what's called judge school, it's literally called judge school. Okay. I'm now privy to access to judges. Let's put it this way, without saying too much further on here. And I get to see things that most people don't get to see. And if you only knew the insanity that goes on, what they're being taught that women are liars and women are crazy, and they're using the word crazy. They're not using any social science research. They're not using any psychological injury diagnoses from proper medical clinicians and so on, licensed psychologists, psychiatrists, whatever, what have you. They're making these determinations on their own. It's very broad, and it's very specific to women are liars and women are crazy. Okay. And don't believe them. Once their family court involved, if they start to make allegations against the father, they're automatically those two things. And they should be punished for it, by the way. They should be punished for it. And also, here's another thing, and I talk about this all the time, parental alienation, which I can despise the words. I despise it. I want to literally just like blow it up into dust. Their remedy for parental alienation, which we know is a pseudoscience. That's not to say that parents are not separated from their children in a wrong way. But the court's punishment for parental alienation is to parentally alienate you from your children and to alienate your children from you. That makes no sense. What is your point behind that? Unwrap that. Let's delve into that. Why would you do that? Okay, why? And if you look at ACE research and ACE scores, okay, a protective, loving bond, okay, and you have to understand, a mother is born, when a mother has a child growing in her womb, the child develops new cells, and those cells get intermingled, and you now carry their cells once they're born, and they carry your cells. Fathers don't have that. That is something very sanctity there. There's something very special there that nobody can take away. And normal men, and I know many of them and love them, and they're in my own family or friends, okay? They would never dream of it. I've talked to them multiple times. Matter of fact, I should start bringing them out to teach other men how to be men. They would never dream of it. And I can tell you cases where mothers did have problems that you'd want to safeguard children from with drugs or whatever. And those fathers were in weeping tears of not wanting to separate the children from their mother and the mother from their children with love. Okay. Because there's a difference. There's a huge, vast difference. I can't explain it past science. And I can explain it to that point, but it goes past into the sanctity of motherhood, childhood. There's actually such a special bond there that even the giving birth process is a special bonding that takes place that God created women and children in. And I can give you an example biblically that when Abraham and Isaac, Isaac being the promised child, if you read the Bible, you have Abraham and Isaac being the child of promise. And then you have what happened between Sarah and Abraham. And then you have where Ishmael was born because Sarah actually said, go to your concubine, right? Well, at that point in time, when she finally realized what she did was so wrong and they literally repented, and Isaac was the child of promise, Ishmael wasn't. Now, it doesn't mean that God wanted Isaac dead and he was to be abused or anything like that. But she had to leave. So the mother and the child were sent away. Okay. And then the family was Isaac, Abraham, and Sarah. That was the family. And that's the father of faith through the biblical times. And it still shows a loving God. It doesn't show a hating God. It shows a loving God. But what it shows is that promised child was to stay intact with mom and dad in that specific condition because he was not an abuser, but that the mother and the non-promised child, the child that was not a child of promise, that was a concubine and that was a counterfeit relationship that should have never been, he was well provided for, but they were sent away. They were sent away with mom. The child was sent away with mom. Does that make sense? So we have to look at this biblical illustration too. The how God sees that he decided to have Jesus come through a womb of a mother. Okay. There's reasons for that. I know that might be a lot for some people to wrap their heads around. And this is not an anti-man topic in any way, shape, or form. Okay. But fathers normally, if they love their children, and there's fathers that, your heart breaks for them. And you see them where maybe the mother lied about them being the father and they raised them all those years and their heart breaks. And that's very heartbreaking to me to see that. And they're good human beings and they're good dads and they would never hurt a fly. But the point is that those types of dads would never want to take children from their mother. It's not in their makeup. They're there to be providers. They're there to be protectors, and they're there to protect the women. And women are wounded, ripped apart, brokenhearted, constantly battling and fighting. And it's not a good thing. And if you're a real man, you would want to come along and nurture that. You would want to come along and heal that. You would want to come along and protect that sanctity between women and children. Okay. And that's what we're doing. Okay. So if I hear the buzzwords right away. When they come to me, we go through the screening. I know the buzzwords right away, that I know them, that what they're going to do. And they're attacking the ex-wife or the ex-girlfriend or the mothers of their children. I know them right away, and they can't hide that from me. So it's just very important. And I know multiple fathers that I love and appreciate and do everything I can, that, should have whatever type of access to their children. And I don't believe in 50-50 custody either, because no life should be split down the middle and splintered like that. That's wrong. Even in two good households, nothing should be on a court order saying Monday here, Tuesday there, Wednesday there, Friday here, like bounce, like you're some kind of a piece of garbage just being thrown around. It's not the way things should be. If your relationships break, there are healthy, holistic ways to continue your family unit in a certain way where there's a free will aspect to that. And courts don't have that. Courts are a disaster. And that's why we're doing alternative to family court. And it is successful because it's holistic and it's proper. Okay. And we also believe in restoring the family back together if it's restorable. Okay. In any way, shape, or form. So this is not a man hating thing. This is an abuser hating situation. That's the difference. So go ahead, Rhonda.
One thing I wanted to say about Catherine's case is I did read the first transcript, and that was dated, I can't see, it was 9/16 of 19. And in that transcript, at that point, she was in supervised visitation. So we're looking at what, almost 4 years? Where is the remedy to get her unsupervised? If it didn't happen in 4 years, is it suddenly going to come out of the woodwork tomorrow? Where was the plan to fix this situation? How many hoops did she have to jump through?
Millions.
If it wasn't fixed in 4 years, where's the hope that it's ever going to be put back to normal or whatever? What does she have? If you can't come up with a solution in 4 years, what are you doing, family court?
Oh, I agree. And let me tell you something, Rhonda. Let me say, I can tell you mothers that I've known for years that have still not seen their children, still not seen them at all. Not even at all. They never get out of supervised visits. They get supervised visits or nothing. If they get that, and exorbitant amounts of money just to see their kids in the most ridiculous ways, as if they were criminals. And they're not. There's nothing criminal in there. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. You can't even find something wrong.
And answer me this. What are these kids learning? How is the next generation going to be affected by all this? I mean, if I'm a child and I grow up only seeing my mother supervised for years and years and years, I'm going to think that's normal. Where am I going to learn conflict resolution skills? I'm going to have trust issues. It opens a whole slew of, issues that they're going to carry with them to adulthood. I mean,
and when the day comes that when the kid asks themselves, why is my mom being supervised? Well, she's crazy. Really? But she doesn't seem crazy. Like, why is my mom? Yeah, my mom was crazy. She had to be supervised. Like, why? And for what reason was she supervised in the first place? When you look at the reasons for supervision in any state, they're all the same. They're either severe drug use, which, they give children to drug users. They've been in incarceration for serious crimes where they give children to them as soon as they come out, or they get more visitation than these mothers do. Okay. Or, extringent circumstances. These mothers don't have these. These mothers don't have these at all. They reported abuse. Mm-hmm. Where's that a crime? If you see something, say something. Except if you're a mother. Mm-hmm. Except if you're a mother, then all bets are off. Yeah. Or if you're family court involved, you must have a motive. I have a motive. I'm here because there's a problem, not because I have a motive. It's insane. Insane.
This whole mom is crazy nonsense. Look, mom would be crazy if she didn't react the way she does as a result of this insane situation. They think that you're going to walk in there and just be calm, cool, and collected after experiencing abuse and having your children ripped from you. I mean, seriously. if you don't react in some sort of way that reflects being a human being, then I would question the, like, what's going on here?
And I've seen judges even say, I've even seen narratives where if she is as calm as can be, they say she has a problem in the other direction.
You're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
It's the narrative. That's the bottom line. It's the narrative. It's the narrative.
And if you don't do something, they'll find something. You could be perfect. And if they want to throw the case, in a different favor, they're going to, you didn't do this right. I mean, it doesn't matter. And that's why I think, I tell moms all the time, don't be afraid to be assertive and stand up for yourself. Because I think that family court has a lot of moms scared. Well, they'll dangle the carrot. Oh, if you behave yourself, you get your kids back. Then I don't believe in that. I don't. I think,
yeah.
Like Anne's saying, it's rigged.
Rigged. That's why I put it up there. So let me say something, and I do have to wrap, and we do want to just everybody, pray for these children. Please do not do this yourselves. Come to turn to someone. There's lots of help. Please do not do this. Do not follow. I can't emphasize that enough, because these children do have to live with this for the rest of their lives. She was terminal, so just keep that in mind. I do not believe this was a selfish act. Sometimes it is. But I do want to say, this is to honor her as well. So let's do what we can with what we have right now. Because again, she's an attorney and a former special counsel to the governor of New York, the previous governor of New York, assistant to a U.S. attorney, okay, and a mother. So I believe that this can possibly make some changes that we desperately have been fighting for so long. The Americans with Disability Act, which is something we fight for tremendously. These are federal authorities that judges are violating in their complete and blatant disrespect and ignorance of the law. In their backwards, archaic system that they have. So, just keep that in mind. We're fighting for that. Rhonda, you're in Pennsylvania. It's been running smooth as soon as we applied the ADA for you. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. An hour away from you, there's 2 courts on the opposite sides of you that are completely, the one judge said to me the ADA was gibberish, and the other judge in Beaver County, we've got all kinds of stuff exposing him and the moron attorneys all over TikTok. As a matter of fact, it's gone viral between me and Jay Shore. It just blows my mind that they can literally have no accountability, and yet in the middle, in an hour, just an hour driving distance on either side, you got a court that understands that you can't violate it. It just blows my mind. The law is the law. That's it. And when a court doesn't do it, you got a big problem. But we have to remember that we do have rights. She knew the rights. She knew the rights very well, obviously, with her titles and her credentials. And here's the outcome, because it's just a very sick and evil system. Bottom line, just is. Bottom line, and with the stuff that I've witnessed behind the scenes of these judges and what they're doing and how they're just complete and utter narcissists. And I really feel, and I've said it for years, I did a 2017 in Washington, D.C. Protest where we had big signs up saying mental health examinations for judges and drug testing for judges. Okay. No different than the president. It should all be exposed to the public, anybody that's a public servant, because it's so dangerous. And a lot of them are drug addicts, very severe drug addicts. A lot of them are addicts, and they're not capable of making proper, healthy decisions. They do have what's called broad discretion. And in that broad discretion, they can make better decisions, and they choose not to. Okay. And once they stamp something, all these other people that took oaths to the Constitution and to follow the Constitution do not follow it because a judge stamped something. That is not the way it's supposed to be. That's not the way that's supposed to be. We are a democracy. That means we the people. Okay. And we are a republic. Okay. And it's not supposed to be what's happening in this country. And it's just kills me, because I see what these kids are being trained in school. They're being told, even the family rights movement says we have no constitution. That is a lie. That is a lie. And do not fall for it. Okay. Do not fall for it. So Did you want to wrap with anything else, Rhonda? Did you have anything you wanted to say?
I just want to say that family court, if they would hold these abusers accountable. See, that's what the general public thinks family court's like. Oh, if somebody does something bad, family court's going to slap them on, do whatever. No, they don't. No, not at all. If they did, we wouldn't have these problems. If Alan Kassenoff had to pay the piper for what he did in those videos from the beginning, I would be willing to make a safe bet we wouldn't be where we're at right now. But they won't. That's the problem. Family court, it's on your shoulders. We're going to make sure this changes.
There's no, like, if you look in New York State, for example, since this is a New York case, okay, you go up the food chain, and I deal with this all the time, all the way up to the U.S. Department of Justice. I deal with them there too, okay. It's the accountability issue and the ignorance and lack of education in what the actual laws are. So I've talked to legislators. Well, we follow the state constitution, okay, but you do know that we have a supremacy clause, and that the Supreme Court, the law of the land, is the federal constitution that supersedes anything. That if this one's violating that one, or policies and practices or procedures are violating, we still have this. We just do this. I'm sorry, we have no jurisdiction. They all say the same thing. Public integrity says the same thing. All of it. They all say the same thing. No jurisdiction. Put it over there. Put it over there. You can jump through hoops all day long, every day. If I was to record my conversations every day and just play them, your heads would spin. Your heads would spin. The ignorance is terrifying. The ignorance, the laziness, the lack of like, we talk about due process. We don't even have a chain of process that should appropriate things the way they're supposed to be, like you would in any other business. Okay, they don't have it. There is not that proper chain of command. There isn't. There isn't. That's why we step in. There isn't. It's a disgrace. It's an embarrassment. There's things that there's like food and drug. We already know. I don't even want to get into all that nonsense because there's what they put in, what they approve. But there's like safety concerns. There's OSHA. There's specific things that you don't want. You don't do this because you're going to get killed by that machine if you're working this kind of a. You're in a forklift job, or not in family court. It's so pathetically bad, but it was never voted in by the people in a state or congressionally, which makes it treason on our soil, period. That should be enough to stop it right there. Right there. That should be enough. Okay? So I don't know, but I keep telling people, get the hell out of family court. And if you can't get out, do something to try to get out. Just don't get in the first place. I tell them all the time, this is not your saving grace. It is not the place that you're going to go. You will destroy your families. You will destroy everything you've ever worked for. You will destroy it all. Don't do it. Get out.
And moms, at the end of the day, just remember one thing. There will come a day when family court does not have jurisdiction over you any longer. That glorious day.
Amen. 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 Amen to that. Well, thank you so much for being on. Again, this is, this is for Catherine, Youssef, Kassenoff, and we hold her memory dear. We thank you all for doing whatever you possibly can to help fight, to help shed light, spread the word, make those contacts, get together, make groups together. Let's do this. Let's make sure that this never happens again. Let's use this to honor her name, to honor her children, to bring healing and to make changes. One of the things I want to see is, there's a lot of things I want to see, but one of the things I'd like to see is a pushing of a bill to enforce the Americans with Disability Act, and that the judges have comprehensive education on it. But again, Rhonda, thank you so much for being on here. I really appreciate you today. And for this last, so quick getting this together. I appreciate everybody, assistant producer Maria Kubayar, for doing the quick work that she did. I appreciate her very much. And thank you for being on, Rhonda.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. God bless everybody. Thank you.
Bye.